Welcome to Week 12 of Friday Night Insight. This is Jim Peters. I'm alongside very special guest this week, Coach Mark Hoffman of the Valparaiso Vikings. Coach, how you doing today, Monday after your final game?
Like half the other teams that played on Friday night, a little disappointed that we're not playing this Friday. It's a sad thing. I said in the article in the newspaper in the Times that it was very, very sad, not for me, but for our seniors, our 24 seniors. And you know, unless you win that championship, you lose that last game. And after I said that to our kids and wished them the best, and we'll take care of things when we get back to school and let them go out on the field and do what they need to do, then I started to walk. And I didn't know if am I going to ride the bus, am I going to ride with my wife, am I going to ride with the trainers? My mind just started scrambling, and I thought, this is the last time I'm going to do this. And for me, it was very, very sad. You play a game, and you play it all the years that I've had the opportunity to coach and play it, and then for at the end, and eventually that has to happen to all of us. Giving it up now and moving on is it's something I'm still dealing with.
If you don't mind lending a wee bit more of your gridiron expertise here, would like to...
that is debatable. After you lose that last game, you know.
That's right. Well, next to me, everybody looks like Joe Paterno or whomever. But to break down the sectional championship this week, Crown Point and Maryville, in the rematch of a 21-20 Maryville win during the regular season. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, I see two teams that have strengths, but strengths in different ways. Mm-hmm. Crown Point has been very, very good defensively all year. They returned some defensive standouts, all conference players. They are aggressive up front. Mm-hmm. They are in the right spot most of the time, mm-hmm. and they play with a lot of passion. Mm-hmm. And against us, we thought we were a decent offensive team and getting better defensively, but we really struggled offensively against them. We never really established anything. We had to mix some things around. We had some yards, but they're a hard defense to move on. Mm-hmm. But if there's one offense that could move on them, it would be the counterpart the team they're playing, mm-hmm. and that's Maryville. Mm-hmm. Maryville by far has the best defense in our conference. Offense in our conference. They run the ball extremely well. They pass the ball extremely well. They have some quality kids, mm-hmm. and they just picked up the young man that was playing JV ball, and our coaches came back from the JV game and said, "This guy's phenomenal." And then, of course, they reversed, and he's eligible now, and he's a great, great football player, which gave him more strength.
Collins,
Tremendous. So when you look at that, it's going to be a great matchup. If it comes down to the kicking game, mm-hmm. I think Crown Point is pretty good there. Mm-hmm. You worry about Maryville because they have great return threats every time, so you just keep the ball away from them. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody mm-hmm. does. But Crown Point, they beat us on the 35-yard field goal. They do a great job with that. And what I like, it's Chip and it's Zach, mm-hmm. two young guys, in their 30s. They've battled out. They've had some great battles over the years. They both were excellent players in the Duneland Conference, and now they are coaches in the Duneland. And I think they're well-coached teams, and it's going to come down to the wire. It took a long drive for Maryville to beat them mm-hmm. in their first game, as it did Maryville to beat us in our game. Mm-hmm. And it took a staunch defense for Crown Point to get to where they are by beating us, mm-hmm. and they did that on the goal line where we fumbled the ball away there. So I think it's two very, very good teams for our league mm-hmm. that are going to play extremely hard, mm-hmm. a lot of passion. And the games at Maryville, and I don't know if Crown Point likes that. They seem to play better at their place, but I think it's going to be a fun regional game, and actually I view it pretty much as a toss-up.
We're back to look at Class 4A sectional championship and our Class 2A sectional championship, the two other classifications where we have local teams still involved. Again, I want to thank Coach Mark Hoffman for his insight on the Class 5A sectional championship matchup between 8-3 Crown Point and 8-3 Maryville. In Class 4A, it'll be 8-3 Griffith going over to Hessville to take on 10-1 Morton. The teams met in the first game of the regular season. Morton won that one 21-14 over the Panthers, and should be another close ball game this time around. I think the key for Griffith will be the ability to control the ball offensively with its wishbone attack with Austin Brown and Brett Brinkley, and on the other side, Morton, as always, the key for the Governors has always been their ability to be able to, minimize mistakes and take care of the football. If Morton plays a pretty clean game, they're going to be tough to beat, but that has not been the case consistently for the Governors this season, despite the 10-1 record. In Class 2A, it'll be Wheeler traveling down to North Newton. The Bearcats come in at 11-0. North Newton coming in at 6-5. The Spartans are on a 5-game winning streak after a bit of an upset last week against River Forest over at River Forest. Chad Schultz, the big man for the Spartans, he will be the guy they look to go to control the ball, to keep the Wheeler offense on the sidelines. These two teams met early on in the regular season, and Wheeler won that one 49-0. Stranger things have happened when teams meet a second time in the playoffs, and plus it's on the road, long drive down to Morocco for Wheeler. Wheeler, a team that's struggled a little bit offensively here in the postseason. 12 points in the opener against Andrean, where they only had one offensive touchdown, that coming on a very short field. And then last week against Rensselaer in a 14-7 victory in a game that might have been closer than some of us expected. They also only had one offensive touchdown in that game, that on a Jake Gore punt return. The other touchdown in that game was a run by Nick Nispinski, their senior quarterback, who returned to the lineup Friday. And was just enough for the Bearcats to get by the Bombers. And I think you'll see Nispinski, as he gets back into the flow of things, be able to get back into the rhythm that he was during the regular season before the ankle injury. You'll see him be able to mix up the run and the pass as he did so well, getting Robert Hurd out on the perimeter and being able to control the line of scrimmage just with his ability to make the reads on the option, whether to keep it or to pitch it to Derek Hartwig. So look for Wheeler to get back into its rhythm offensively in this one. North Newton, nothing to lose here for the Spartans. They're the heavy underdog, kind of like Wheeler was in their opener against Andrean. So the pressure on the Bearcats with the expectations of victory in this one, while North Newton looking to hold serve on its own field and pull off the upset. So that'll be it for the sectional championships this week. We'll have 3 teams moving on to the regionals next week in our respective classes, 5A, 4A, and 2A, and we will see you at one of those venues next week for Week 13 of Friday Night Insight. And until then, this is Jim Peters. Have a good week.